on Metro TV. Time to have our conversation with the Minerals Commission about mining in Ghana. And as always, Mr. Martin Ayisi, the CEO of the Minerals Commission, is here with me on the show. When I refer to him as a lawyer, he likes me to add the fact that he's an extractive lawyer, mining and oil and gas lawyer as well. Mr. Ayisi, good morning. Where were you giggling?
Oh,
you always remind me when I say you're a lawyer, you like me to bring the speciality out.
Since 2022, my whole life has been mining and petroleum. I've not done anything else.
2002.
Yes.
For the last 21 years.
2000 and so I was caught in about 2001.
Okay.
So for the past 22 years.
That's all you've been doing?
That's what I've been doing.
The day you retire, you make money.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but how's the commission?
It's all right.
Okay. So last week we dealt with, we tried to finish our issue with the small-scale mining here. And today I want us to look at the some of the opportunities in the mining sector. We've been speaking about them in bits and pieces. But once again, the issue about what this country is really gained from mining comes up. And I always refer to a statement that was once made by Dochini, where he said that if the mining of the minerals will not benefit us, then they rather should remain in the ground. And I'm sure that had to do with the level of degradation and all that. Just before we get onto that, I saw a story. You know, you keep speaking about the kinds of people who are involved in illegal mining, and I just want us to spend some 2 minutes on this one, or a minute. We speak about chiefs and opinion leaders and all that. Now, we're told that pastors are also involved. I've seen a story where they say a pastor has been arrested somewhere in the central region for engaging in illegal mining, Chifu Prasu or something. You arrested? You got him?
Yes, maybe, as you said, in 2 minutes. We have a district office in Asin Fosu. It's been there for decades. So the district inspector, as usual, they go around. As I said, they have pickup, so they go around to monitor operations of small-scale miners within his district. Sometimes he gets intelligence or reports from chiefs or communities. People live in a community that, look, somebody is hiding somewhere or somebody is doing, so they normally go there. These days, he has to be careful because sometimes people are well armed or whatever. So he went there. And then he realized that that application didn't come to him because, you see, the district officer, even when he wakes up and you ask him a question, he can just tell without going to the field whether an operation is illegal or not. Why? Because the last leg of the processing, what do you call it, the whole processing regime, as far as small scale is concerned, is for him to take you to the field to be sure that, look, this place is appropriate for any responsible mining. So he went there, and the guy didn't have the appropriate, what do you call it, documentation approvals. He stopped him, that you can't do this. You need to complete any process, if any. He ignored. And then, as usual, insults, you know, threatening to attack him, beat him up, and, you know, displaying. That's what some of them do. So typically when issues like that come up, we said, go and speak to the police. So he went there and made a report, and then a guy got arrested. And then he's being processed. So that is it. So you see, that speaks volumes of that fundamental issue that all kinds of people are involved. Yes, so that is it.
All right.
Who are you? He can do whatever you like. Don't come here. He will shoot you and all kinds of things. So that is it. So the process of, you know, taking through the judicial system will go on. And then if he's found guilty, of course, they'll charge him. Fundamentally, what he was doing was illegal. He didn't have any approval authority to do what he was doing. That's it. The other issues of threats and threat of violence or beating up the officer, that will also be dealt with. So, of course, the police will file all kinds of charges. So that's how it became news. It's not easy. This is the kind of thing our officers go through. So you can imagine if he had not calculated or gotten his intelligence right, he would have been a dead man. Yes.
All right.
Sometimes they issue the threat, just to look, push you away or don't come here again. But sometimes, depending on the situation, they actually can go ahead and carry it out. So when they get the intelligence, they tell me, I say, don't go there. We will now refer it to the security who are better positioned to deal with where some of them are armed. It doesn't matter whether it's this Kafugbe or these local ones. His life is important.
I'm a Ghanaian. I watch you on Good Morning Ghana. I listen to you on Original FM. And I want to do business legitimately in the mining industry. What do I do and what are the opportunities for me? What opportunities exist for me and what do I do? How do I go about it? What are the opportunities? What do I need to do? How do I take advantage of them?
So you can first walk into our offices, any of our district or regional offices.
Anywhere in Ghana?
Anywhere in Ghana. Or you can just walk to our head office or just go online these days and call our number. We'll pick. Just call the number. I've been saying this myself. Perhaps I'm the only CEO in Ghana whose number is publicly available. Anybody can call me. So you can walk into our district offices, go into our regional offices, and then come to the head office. Now, for now, we have a regional office in Kumasi. We are in Greater Accra. We are in Volta. We are in Upper East. We are in Upper West. We are in Tamale. We are in Savannah. We will soon be in Northeast because the place has become very prospective for limestone and gold. We are in Western region, we are in Western North. And then practically almost all the major towns that are not regional capitals, we are there. So we are in Takwa, we are in Prestia, we are in Obuasi, we are in Akimoda, Akwetia. We are all over the place now. And we are expanding. Areas where we need to put up offices, we will do. Areas that we are in Konongo, where we need to rent, we will also rent with the view of putting up offices. Like, if you like, maybe 20 or so years ago, there was nothing in Ahafo. What is today Ahafo region? Practically nothing there. Then Newmont came in. Today, it will become one of the major mining regions in this country, especially upon completion of the Ahafo North Gold Project, roughly in about a year or two. That is it. Now, for the opportunities, so you see, some just come in and then they don't know what they are about. So we take the trouble.
Recording in progress.
We normally see 3 categories of persons, as far as your question is concerned. Some just walk in because he's heard, oh, maybe there's money in mining, or he has a friend who is making so much money. So they just walk in, and after listening to him, realize that he doesn't know what he wants. So then we take him through. Others come and then they say, no, I want a license to go and mine. Then we'll ask whether it's small scale or large scale. Some will say both. And then others will come and say, look, I'm not interested in mining. I want to do some supplies or provide some kind of services. That place is also, big time. So we ask you, what do you want? Some don't know what they want, so we have to explain to them. So we have opportunities for Ghanaians who can pick up licenses to either explore and or mine, either on the large scale or small scale. Then we have opportunities for Ghanaians who want to invest. So this one, I am not interested in picking up a license to do exploration. I'm not interested in picking up a license to mine. But I want to put my money in somebody who has a license. So maybe company A may be exploring all these years, he might find gold or some other mineral. And then now they are looking for money to go into construction and development. So the person will say, okay, I have this money there, I'm putting it in it. And then there are several ways or scenarios that will play out there. He will tell you, if I give you this, you give me equity, I become a shareholder. He might sit back and he may not get involved. Depending on his percentage, he could even put someone near the board. So there are people who can give you money to go into construction and development, or even put exploration. Most people don't like exploration because it's risky. But when you make a commercial find, they can give you money. So he says, I'm giving you money, shareholding. Or I'm giving you money when you construct, you give me this quantity of gold. So people can do that, and then instead of paying him, you give it to him in gold. Others, you become a shareholder. You understand? Some can also give it to you in the form of a loan you pay back. So even where people are not interested in mining directly, they are not interested in exploration directly, there are 3 ways in which they can invest. I'll buy into it and hold a stake, like the kind of thing Leaf is trying to do. And then you give me equity. Some will say, I'm not interested in equity. I don't want to be a shareholder. I'm going to give you, let's say, $20 million. Give me gold or give me the concentrate. I need it for maybe as a factory. I need that. And then somebody else will tell you, I want to give you a loan for you to go and do your operations, and then you pay me back. So that's where these banks come in. You understand? And these are the areas where we have not done too well, but things are picking up. So institutional investors, okay, they do this across the world. So the likes of SNIT, who I keep saying, it's not that I'm bashing them, because we also, Minerals Commission, get bashed when things go wrong. Their report shows they've admitted that all these years, they've not done well with investment in manufacturing. I mean, it's out there, I'm not the one saying it. So many of pension funds across the world, they pour billions into mining projects. Okay, yes. So, but they do their work very well. So you go to Australia, Canada, US, a lot of companies that are doing what we call here tier 1, 2, 3, even are here 4, when they take their billions, they give it to investors who do their profile and come back to you and say, look, Metro TV, you have maybe 100 workers. Every month or whatever, you are sitting on maybe $10 million of tier 3 or 4 you have created for your 100 staff. So you speak to any of these investors, what do you do with this money? So it's up to them to come back to you and say, look, Randy, or Metro TV, you see these mining companies or these areas, they will do all those things with you. It's quite lucrative, putting money there. And then you give them the authorization, then they go and invest. Okay? So you might see a company that has been set up solely for that. He's holding about $2 billion of monies from various institutions. Okay? So he goes around looking for projects. That is why I get worried, and I feel so sad when we talk to people that bring in your money. They don't seem to understand, but this forum is very good. And then you have
you made a pitch to institutions like SNIT and those who are in the tier 2,
I'm reaching
tier
out
3.
to them. Randy, you'll be amazed the kind of thing this your program has done for us.
Yeah.
I mean, Ghanaians, the industry, etc. So far, I've spoken to about 7 banks who have approached me. Okay. Yes. Some of them are even talking to the companies because they do profile checks on them. Right. That, look, we've talked to them. Can you vouch for the following? So a lot of them are getting into those space now. And many of these banks in Ghana here are also funding some of the mining companies. They give them money. So I think that is what we have not done well as a nation. Because as a nation over the years, our primary focus has been how do we get investors to come and explore and produce their gold? External. But what we have not done very well, and I think some time ago I mentioned it, what we have not done very well is financing of metal projects. If we really want mining to benefit this country, we need to just go beyond just attracting investors, because we are top 4 when it comes to I mean, when people get up and they want to come to Africa to come and look for mining investments, there is no way Ghana will not flash on the radar. And I'll tell you why. We have close over, if you like, 100 or more minerals in the world. But let me say this and listen carefully. half, at least half of worldwide exploration spent. That is, I think my last check is about 7 or so billion last year. The amount of money companies all over the world spend in looking for minerals on exploration worldwide, at least half goes to gold. You need to understand that. That is the statistics out there. If you read S&P Intelligence, at least half of the world exploration budget goes to gold. Then maybe the next 20 or so goes to base metals, particularly copper. So you see, if you're a country and your geology is very prospective for copper and gold, people will be harassing you in court, like DRC. So in spite, that's why when sometimes people say, oh, Africa is risky for investment, I ask myself, what are they doing in DRC? The whole of Eastern Congo is unstable. It's in turmoil. But what are they still doing in DRC? So it tells you geology trumps everything. So if your geology is very prospective for gold and copper, trust me, you get a lot of investment. If you put in the other place, you get the fiscal regime right, the legal regime right, and then your governance is okay, then that's fine. So you see, as a nation, we should also be worried. Like what is happening in Niger is not good for us. So maybe somebody was going to give some $10, $20 million to maybe an investment company in Ghana. And then this Niger who came, he said, oh, West Africa, and then he will stop. Because you see, in the West there's nothing like the way you understand that this is UK, this is Germany, this is France, this is Belgium, this is Netherlands. For them, Africa is Africa. Okay, so what is happening in Niger, affects everybody. You see it. And one of the most prolific mining jurisdictions in the world is West Africa. Lots of gold. So now we are designing our policies to make sure that we get the financing bit right. How do we do that? So these are the opportunities. We'll narrow down because we said we'll spend a lot of time. So you can pick up, so to start with 3 categories. First, you can approach that and say, I want to do mining. And then you can start with exploration. If your pocket is deep, you can invest in a mining company. So pick up the license, explore and mine. It takes time, it requires a lot of patience. So that's one category. The second category, he says, I'm not interested in mining. I don't want to do exploration and I don't want to be a miner. But I have cash. I mean, I'm sitting on big money. Anything between $1 million or even $500,000 to $100 million or more. It could be an institution, a group of investors, or an individual. People can count millions in this country. So he says he wants to invest. One advice I can give you is that, okay, some companies are prepared to take your money. But I need to tell you the difference between exploration and mining. That exploration is risky, at least 5% success of finding the mineral. So most people who have money, tend to move in after you find the mineral, you declare commerciality, you do feasibility. Then now he knows the thing is there. So again, there are 3 ways. He gives you the money, you give him equity. Whether he'll be 2% owner, 5% or 10%, depends on how much money you are going to give him. Okay? The institutional investors do it big. So that's one leg. Another leg is where he will say, I don't need to be an equity holder. I don't want to be a shareholder. But I need your gold. Or I have a factory that, does steel, whatever. I need manganese ore. So I'm going to give you $20 million. I mean, what they call metal streaming. So I'm going to give you $20 million. Put it in your gold mine to do the construction and development. Or if you are an operating mine and you are struggling and you want to expand, you find new reserves, you said you want to raise $50 million. They'll say, okay, I'll give you $20 million. Okay? And then you can raise a 30 somewhere. The guy who's giving you $20 million can tell you that I want that money back in gold. Maybe the other group of $30 million can say, we are giving to you at this interest rate, pay us back. Or, okay, the $20 million, 5% equity. So that is also another area. And then where I want us to focus is all those services and supplies that the mining companies use daily. That is where the problem is. Because, Randy, out there, okay, and I'm sure maybe yourself, you become quite educated now. Very soon you call yourself mining expert. Out there, the image out there, 31 million Ghanaians, except those who are in the industry, is that mining is taking place in certain areas in Ghana. You ask a child in primary school, maybe at least they can mention Obuasi or Dunkwa or Prestia. They are in the bush somewhere, kind of an enclave economy. They dig their stuff. We hear government has 10%. They take it out raw. If they like, they pay taxes. That is a general impression out there. If you ask me, when I checked the data in 2001, all the receipts the government got, when I say all the receipts, our 10% we gain from dividends if they declare profits. Corporate income tax, which is 35% in the mining industry, by far the highest in the world, one of the highest. The royalty they pay for digging out the mineral, that is right on straight on top because it's not sensitive to profit. Withholding tax, and any kind of tax that GRA may impose, depending on the nature of the transaction, comes close to about $1 billion. So this goes to the Republic, or if you like, the exchequer. Okay, some go to GRA, now MIF holds the dividends part. And then we just found out that about 3 times that is spent on goods and services which they use daily. So they buy fuel, they use lubricants, they acquire machinery, equipment, okay, etc. They pay all services, they hire accountants to look at their books, they get supplies, various from chemicals they use in their lab and all those things. So Randy, if you don't own the mine, if the money is given you for the construction is coming from some investment bank or a bank like Macquarie Bank in Australia or Nova Scotia in Canada, the shareholders are these big players who are listed in Perth, Joburg, Vancouver, whatever. Like this Newmont, this $1 billion, it's going to come from their parent company. You understand that? So these things come from outside. The $3 billion too, you cannot capture it. Okay, yeah. So we said until 2019 or so, people come from outside this country, 67 or 63 years of independence, 63 if you like, come and set up petrol stations in all these mining companies that spend so much on fuel. Remember, taxes on fuel are very high, so government makes a lot of money from these mining companies. If I tell you how much they pay GRA, even alone on taxes on fuel, the mining companies, with these new ones coming out, it's a lot of money. So why will you allow a foreigner or a foreign company to come and set up and supply fuel to a mining company in Ghana? There should be something wrong with you if you allow that kind of situation. So 2019, actually 2018, reported in 2019, our budget for fuel was about $100 million. That's about 13 or so leases. That is what the companies filed with Minerals Commission as the amount of money we use in buying fuel. I've not added lubricants. If you have lubricants for their machines, etc., let's say roughly 200 million. Now, when we said we are stopping foreign companies from supplying directly to the mines, they should go to the other retail sector. We have checked our 2001 report. That is
2021.
2021. So 2 years after we stopped that practice, fuel supply to just some selected mining companies, we look at the big players, is $304 million.
Whoa.
Yes. So what it simply means that, and this done by Ghanaians now, so the money will stay here. Okay? Yes. And that's almost close to like the royalty paid by all the mining companies in the Republic, just fuel. So when you sit down and you don't do anything, and you know how they behave, you do the same thing. If you go to UK now and go and invest, and you're providing certain services, chances are that you look for Ghanaians who are there to provide those services for you. So you don't expect an American company to come here if there's an American bank to use GCB or CB, Agri Development Bank. You don't expect a French company to come and invest in mining here. And you don't expect that they will not use Société Générale if they are still here. Okay, so they will transfer their millions of dollars to Société Générale to pay their workers and what do you call it? Give this money to all the supplies there. So some of the things we have to do, it has to be deliberate, conscious effort to just say no. Like you go to European Union, you go to Japan, you go to America, they have a deliberate policy to give subsidies to agricultural farmers. So we have also gotten up and said, look, you can't allow foreigners to get into that space. You cannot allow foreigners to come and supply lubricants. You cannot allow foreigners to come and provide security to our mines. We will not allow foreigners to come and provide catering services to our mines. 2019, about $26 million was spent on catering services. So you can imagine this new emerging Chinese mine. Don't even bring somebody here to come and do Indomie, if you allow that. Okay? So I put together just fuel and lubricants. It's almost equivalent to royalties paid to government.
Whoa.
Yes.
Just the two.
So the policies we have in place now is to ensure as much as possible the services and goods they procure for their daily operations. Okay? We push them in such a way that these things are done by Ghanaians. Look, I went to Obuasi mine with the minister. I was so humbled when I saw that they have given a contract to a Ghanaian company. I mean, when you say Ghanaian company, you got to be careful the way the lawyers talk. If somebody comes to incorporate a company and the shareholders are foreigners, it's a Ghanaian company. Yeah. There's a company that
Ghanaian ownership.
Ghanaian ownership, 100% Ghanaian ownership. He's been given a contract to do drilling services underground for Boasi. This is how far some Ghanaians have come. So you see, he's not into exploration. He's not into mining. He has just set up, and when we check his bag and realize that he used to work as a geologist and work for the mining companies, after a while he stopped, put up and set up.
About 20 years ago.
Yes.
About 20 years ago, I was a bit more involved with a mining services company.
Yes.
Engineers and planners.
Yes.
And back then, any time that I went with Ibrahim Mahama around, in that area, that mining services area,
yes,
it was just white South Africans and Australians.
Yes. Yes.
White South Africans and Australians.
Yours is better. Randy, let me tell you something. I always say this, and I have that. I still have that in my letter. 2nd April 2002. I was employed at Minerals Commission as an assistant legal officer.
Okay.
How many years ago?
21.
22 years ago. Yeah. I think my chief executive then was Mr. Bernard. He's still around. In fact, he's now an advisor to the minister.
Okay.
We go for meetings, and you see white faces.
Yeah.
Predominantly Canadian, Australian, and America.
South Africa.
Now Chinese. South Africa, after the collapse of apartheid, yes, so they came in a lot. And even middle-level technical, engineers were whites. Randy, it is not the case
today.
At least I can say that. So I'll give you one of my favorite examples. You go to Takwa. There's a mine. There are two big mines there. Takwa, Goldfields, Takwa, owned by Goldfields, which is the 6th biggest producer of gold in the world. They have the huge Takwa mine. It's the 2nd largest now. It's been eclipsed by the one in New York.
I was there when they opened their catalytic plant many years ago.
Yes, that was 2003. Yeah. That was those days when we were learning mining contracts and co. Yeah. Just, if you like, let's use the word sharing war, is Iduaprim.
Where we landed, which used to be their airstrip, I'm told is no more. They're mining gold there.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, gold is everywhere. So the next door is Iduaprim. So they're just neighbors. These two are trying to come together to form the biggest gold complex in Africa.
Whoa.
Now, Iduaprim has 714 full-time workers. From MD, I don't know how they will classify their last person. Is it gardener or cleaner? 100% Ghanaian.
All 714.
It is a large-scale mine, big mine. They do over 200,000 ounces of gold. Price of gold this year has averaged 1,100 at least. Do the math. Even $1,000 is how much? That's about 200. So that is it. The last MD was sent away 2019, South Africa. He's gone. So they headhunted a Ghanaian who was brought from Australia. So we always tell them in our database, if you cannot get a Ghanaian here or poach him from another mine, because you see, they move around a lot. Let me say this. Mining engineers and geologists, we call them prostitutes. Okay? he moves, he's in Obuasi, then he's poached by
They're like radio presenters.
Yes, radio presenter. He's works in the mining sector. Okay? So they brought the guy. So large scale mine. So I'm so humbled by that. It's not only thing. Most of the mines have 95%, what do you call it, Ghanaian. Ghanaians run all the mines, almost all the CEOs. Predominantly are Ghanaians now. And there are some rules that we have put specifically in the law will not allow a foreigner. Now, if you go to any mine in Ghana, the person who runs the mine, I don't know, are you the general manager here or whatever? Like a typical TV station.
You have an MD or a CEO.
The MD, you are just like but you see, at the
operations person.
The person who runs the
like
mine,
the general manager.
Let's use the army. The army commander. He leads the war, okay? You take instructions from the generals and the security council and co. It's the army commander that leads the battle. Now in the mine, we call the person the mine manager. The mine manager. So if it's an open pit or a surface operations, yes, or underground. Now, in Ghana today, under Ghana's law, a mine manager cannot be an expatriate. It's not possible. And even it is not everybody who is a mine manager that can. So, for example, you have to be certified. You see the way the accounting people do. So, the fact that you have gone to a mining engineering school, you have a degree in mining engineering, you have worked like 20, 30 years, even all the best mine in the world. If you don't hold a mine manager certificate, approved the chief inspector of mines, even if you have mine captain, you are the best. You can't do it like a chartered accountant. You can't. It's only a chartered accountant who can sign a report. You know that. Yes. So even if you're a mine manager, you have a mine manager certificate, and you don't have that one underground, you cannot. We cannot allow you. So a mine manager, general manager, these are all Ghanaian rules. I did at least. This is not history. I'm telling you. I saw them. Okay, I saw them. You go to the clubhouse. You find a lot of whites and all those things. So Ghanaians are around running the show. Today we tell them when they bring a request for an expatriate, we normally ask for two things. This is a Ghanaian will go and hide. Okay? Then advertise. Or these days we have a database, we give them the database. Or go to Australia. Or there are Ghanaians all over, what do you call it, West Africa. Okay? There was a Ghanaian general manager who sojourned all over the sub-region. He's back. He's been around like 2-3 years. He's just left for another company somewhere in another West African country. So the technical expertise is world class. Right. There are thousands of Ghanaians in Australia, even middle level. So we have done marvelously well as a nation when it comes to technical skills. I just want to be pushing for things, and then we'll be fine. Now,
let's shift your 4 things to next week.
Oh, but I can just summarize. Okay. I'll just mention them next week.
Mention that next week we'll go
into details. There are some 4 things that if we get very well, then we can talk about Joburg, we can talk about PEF, we can also look like Canada and all those things.
What are these 4?
The first one is we need to aggressively as a nation, and of course it's coming from Minerals Commission we've started, aggressively pursue the financing of mining operations or ventures locally. Okay.
Domestic financing.
Domestic financing, let's raise the billions here. That is number 1. So that's the next high-level policy we put in place. Right. That you can do it through listing. We'll do the details next week. The second one, the forward march on local content should continue. Okay. Increasingly preserving more areas for Ghanaians.
So when we get there, we'll look at how far we've come and what is left.
So that is one. Okay. The other one, which is our biggest headache, in fact, in Africa, is value addition. Okay.
So that's 3.
Time has come for us to start taking these things raw. Okay. Perhaps the last one, which, let me repeat, and I will close the program on that, even though I'm not the producer, which if we do very well, could actually solve the unemployment situation, is almighty small-scale mining, which is taking place in 13 regions and supporting livelihoods of about 3 million.
So we're talking about a strategy on small-scale mining?
Yes, I mean, we just have to soldier on. So small-scale mining, value addition to all these minerals, and then
local content,
domestic financing. And then we will have to increasingly educate these banks, pension funds, companies, even Metro, if you have some $5 million on your 334, put it in mind.
Okay.
Okay? And then maybe above, or if you like the fifth one, we will need to remap the entire country again.
Remap.
Oh, yeah. So, if we...
Is it a geological map of Ghana?
The geological mapping, because that one, I'm very crazy about it, particularly regarding to the small-scale mining. Because if you say they should not go to the water body, which is fine, we shouldn't allow them, you got to find a place for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So are you tired of compromising on the quality of your furniture? Look no further. With Gracefield Ventures, you're guaranteed top-notch products that are not only beautiful, but also built to last. With over a decade of experience, Gracefield Ventures is being the ultimate destination for office and home furniture, creating living and working spaces that exude charm and sophistication. From luxurious sofas that cradle you in comfort to sleek swivel chairs that elevate your productivity, we have it all. Go on, visit our plush showroom at the heart of Kisem and Accra from Monday to Saturday, and you can reach Gracefield Ventures on 0501 672 776 or 0501 672 777. Gracefield, bringing world-class furniture and exceptional service right to your doorstep. And as you were speaking about your appointment letter dated April
2nd April 2002.
Okay, so somewhere in December 1997,
okay,
a man gave me my appointment letter for my second job in the media. 1997, December.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be some 26 years ago. That was my second job in the media. He gave me my appointment letter.
That's when I started law school.
Yes. He was then, I think, 42, inching to 43. Today, he's 68.
Okay.
Tommy Annan Fosin. Today is his birthday.
Oh.
Yes. Today is the birthday of Tommy Annan Fosin.
Great man. We used to listen to him.
Yes.
Is it Friday?
Yes.
Friday?
Friday was TV.
GBC Friday.
Yes, when it was on GBC. So from GBC
he's 68.
to multimedia and then to Choice FM.
Oh, he's
68. He's 68
retired,
today.
and I tell him, I said,
he's not retired.
He should bring his money.
He has a show on Asasi Radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has a show on the weekends.
I've not seen his face.
Yeah, that's
for
him.
a while.
So today, Uncle Tom is
Lovely.
68 today.
Congratulations.
So happy birthday to you, Uncle Tom. Tom at 68, or TF.
But I don't think people remember all these people. I mean, these great guys.
And you remember his line, he says his name, when he mentions his name, he says, Tommy Annan Fosin for short, TAF for long.
Yes. I mean, this man, and then there was this guy, I think he's still around. I don't know who is older. Godwin Avenogbo.
Yes, his birthday was a couple of months ago.
Lovely voice.
Yes. His birthday was a couple of months ago.
Big Godwin.
Yes.
And then
Charlie Sam.
There were Charlie Sam alive.
Yeah, I need to check.
So the Charlie Sam, Godwin Avenogbo.
Yes.
Tommy Annan Fosin.
Yes.
And then there were others, some in the area of sports, there were some other lovely guys.
Okay.
You know, when Kwabena Yeboah and Kartufo and Co started, they are still around.
Yes.
But there's these two great guys, I don't know where they are.
Okay.
Papa Pencil.
Yes.
I'm sure he's outside the country.
Yes.
I mean, they were great.
Right.
Moses Foreman is still around.
Yes, he's still
but
around.
I don't see him again.
Right.
So Tommy, congratulations, 68. Congratulations. So he's now working at Asasi Radio.
Yes, he does a show there. I think weekends.
I'll listen to him. Yes.
All right. So you see him in the GBC studio. That picture.
Oh yeah.
You see the black and white picture in the GBC studio. All right. So thanks for joining me once again. And next week, Thursday, we're looking at the big 4. You've expanded it to 5.
Yes.
So we'll look at that. We'll start off with the domestic finance and then we'll look into the other issues. So that'll be it for the morning. Up next, Metro Sports.